Hello there, my name is Andrew Druckman, and I'd like to welcome you to the channel because after all, the reason why you clicked on that link is because you want to learn how to get leads as a financial advisor. Well, guess what? You just came to the right place because that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Now, if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to Traffic Magic because that is what we do. We talk about different tips and strategies to help you get more people to the front door of your business every single day. Because after all, if there's nobody at the front door of your business, you have no business because that is the bloodline to your business. And also something to keep in mind, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below that's going to give you free training so that this way you can learn how to drive hundreds of customers to the front door of your business every single day. Now, without further ado, let's get into the action. So, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do when it comes to getting more leads as a financial advisor is having a strong social media presence. And so the reason why this is really important to understand why you want to have a strong social media presence is because we are so way past the day and age during the times where people were flipping through yellow pages, reading through news articles, because in the grand scheme of things, those days are done. Nobody's really doing that anymore when they would want to look up a business or look people up or whatever have you. People have now moved on to social media. They are on the internet. Everybody and their mama and their mama's mama is on social media. And the truth of the matter is, honestly, I personally think if you are not at the very least taking advantage of social media, I think you're just doing yourself a total disservice and you are leaving a lot of money on the table. Because, while granted, in the grand scheme of things, I'm the first one to understand that I personally think that network marketing and having one-on-one conversations and building relationships with people is great. That is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But however, though, you have to kind of put this into perspective for a minute because in the grand scheme of things, regardless of whatever social media platform you use, like today's example is going to be Facebook, but say, right, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc., whatever the case might very well be, just like, whether it be video content like what I'm doing for you today, or it could be a blog post, whatever the case might very well be. This video, just for example, that I'm having this conversation with you. This is a conversation I'm having with you, and I can reach hundreds and thousands, and if not millions of people through social media. And that's why I personally believe social media is a very, very powerful thing to take advantage of. So just kind of something to keep in mind. And the next part that I do want to talk about is figuring out exactly what your niche is. Now, when you understand what your niche is and you understand exactly who your target audience is going to be, that's going to put you in a better position so that this way you can understand what their needs are and how to solve their problems, especially if you understand their pain points. Because if you understand their pain points and how to solve their problems and you position yourself in a way to show them that you're the person to go to, you're the person to solve their problems, which essentially means you're fulfilling their needs, you will increase your probabilities of being able to close on that lead. Because after all, you're in a business as an apartment locator for the reason of trying to help people get an apartment. That could be for a numerous amount of reasons, because people have bad credit, or they have a felony record, or maybe they have a dog, or maybe there's certain restrictions. Maybe there are certain apartments that won't allow you to have that particular breed. Right? And it could be for a numerous amount of reasons. And I by no means whatsoever am I judging. I'm just saying that I understand that life happens. So when you understand somebody's pain points and how to solve their problems, it puts you in a better position to show them that you're the go-to person, and you will increase your probability of being able to close on that lead. Now, the next part that I want to share with you is, when it comes to the next step, is going to the search engine, and we're going to click on apartment locators. So that's what you would do. You would click here on apartment locators. I did click on this earlier because I think this is a great example of some content that really anybody can do. This actually looks like someone who started a company, right? So I don't think this is really someone that is personally like a one-on-one type thing where this is like one person, this looks like a company. But still, even if that is the case, you can still model after other companies and other people, especially if you see that they look like they're doing something right. And I hope that makes sense, because in the grand scheme of things, when you're modeling after other people or even other companies that looks like that they are successful, it looks like you are doing that they are doing something right, it's okay to model after them, because if you see that they're doing something right, don't do exactly as that they do, but you got to just take the concept of what it is that they're doing, and you understand certain general points about this, for example, what I'm going to give you. And if you can take that, I personally think that you will be very successful. And this is something also, like I said, it's a business, so you have to work on this every day. Now, when it comes to this, when it comes to creating your account around whatever niche you decide to work on, this is one of the things I think that is very attractive. Look at them. They look like they're in business casual. They're smiling. These people look like they're ready to serve. They look like they're ready to help you solve your problems and fulfill your needs. And this is very attractive. And this is simple content. Literally anybody can do this. Anybody can put on some type of business casual or whatever have you that's along these lines, get in front of a camera, smile in the picture. I mean, you could also do it as a faceless account. I wouldn't necessarily do that, but there are some examples of that too. But this one for right now, I think is a great example to model after, which is why I wanted to show you this, because this is just simple, beautiful content. Literally anybody can do this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close on this. They have gotten over 1,000 followers. That's actually really good. Look at this. And I like this right off the bat. Look at this deal alert, right? Like that's a great hook, because I'm going to sit here and think that if I'm looking for an apartment complex or a particular apartment, and the very first thing is you put on here is deal alert, that's a great hook to kind of hook me in. And I'm pretty sure that's hooked a lot of other people in, right? They put in capital letters. You can even go a step further and bold those letters, like kind of make them into like big bold black letters, just something to keep in mind. And also, here's another thing is 8 weeks free, even though $1,600 a month for this deal alert. And then it does talk about it's currently starting at just almost $1,500, $1,495. But the main thing I want to point out is that anytime you can throw out any type of incentive, whether it being something for free, like for example, 8 free weeks, or giving a discount, whatever the case might very well be, it's always a great idea to throw free stuff out there. Why? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I have no problem whatsoever. If I can put something out there, if I can give somebody something for free or sacrifice a little bit of revenue to get more customers, to get more leads for my business, absolutely I'm going to do it, because obviously I'm going to be able, because the more people I can get, the more people I can close on, the more money I'm going to be able to get. And sometimes just throwing a little bit of incentive out there goes a long way. Now, I'm not saying obviously throw out such a huge incentive, but obviously you have to delegate that and figure that out as you go. But this, I just right off the bat, 8 weeks free, that is great. And look at this beautiful content. This, to me, I personally think is beautiful content that anybody can literally do this. Anybody can do this, and if you want to do this, you can. You just have to be willing to post content on your account every day, or at least every other day, and you have to work it like it's a business, and you have to be engaging with these people. And look at this also. Look at these. These are some smiling faces. Shout out to our top 3 for April, May, and June. Thank you to our amazing clients for an awesome first half of the year. That is amazing to be sitting there shouting out clients, to shouting out your people that you took the time to serve from what this looks like. Look at that. And they're smiling. They're not frowning. This to me is just beautiful content. Again, this is something that literally anybody can do. Look at this. Who does now? Obviously, like I said, not only is it about just pointing out other people's pain points and solving their problems, but it's also trying to position this content, making it look like it is very attractive, and making certain things like this picture, for example, very attractive. Because look at this. if I come home from work one day, right, and say I want to relax, whether I'm working day shift or maybe I have the next day off, wherever the case may be, maybe I want to sit out there and look at this beautiful city in Nashville, Tennessee, and sit out there in a chair with a cup of coffee and just enjoy the scenery. I mean, obviously with the weather permitting from what it looks like, but you get the idea, of course. So that's going to be it for today. I really hope you got some value out of this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Let me your thoughts in the comment section down below, because I always want to know what you got to say. And also, remember, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below that's going to give you free change, so this way you can learn how to drive hundreds of customers to the front door of your business every single day. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.